What up, YouTube? It's your boy Pedro here, back with another edition of Coffees with Streamers. So, the lead up to this was a little bit different compared to some of the previous ones. We took quite a bit of time off, and when I finally came back to it, I sat down with my good friends DJ Para and Dapster Plays. Don't worry, we got the links to their channels in the description below. Please feel free to check those guys out, some awesome peeps. And we just talk about to kind of summarize what goes on behind the scenes when we're planning our streams. How do we really make sure that we are spiritually okay, we are full, and that we are just spiritually right where we need to be? And that discussion, I know it's something you really don't think about, but this is kind of a really good thing that all of us kind of come together and discuss. So if you like this video and you like more spiritual discussions with gaming, please feel free to check us out on Twitch at Pedro_317. You like this video and you want to see more, please hit that like and subscribe button to see more Coffees and Streamers and just more stuff coming from the Twitch channel. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate y'all. You have yourselves a blessed day, and we'll catch you guys next time. So, anywho, but perfect. You know, so since you're here, DJ, yeah, you've done pretty much every one of these, haven't you?
What?
I think you've been part of every single like Coffee and Streamer stream I've done. Like,
I'm just built different.
Yeah, like, and it's, I would invite you more often, but I know like time zone thing is kind of a thing, so that's why I'm never really like. Sure
what time is it for you?
It is 11:10 in the morning over here.
It's 12:10 here.
Oh, okay, 12:10 p.m. Okay, got. Yeah. I thought it was like I thought there was like a bigger time zone difference. For
there
some
was, reason. But time zone changed in the U.S. and time zone changed here. Therefore, I am now EST.
Oh, look at that. Okay.
Yeah, it's like that weird time of the year where I'm EST and then it changes again and then I'm weird. It's weird.
Well, we're gonna have to talk for next week then, because I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, man, every time I do a Coffee or Streamer stream, I've never invited DJ strictly because of time zone. But now that
Fridays are the best days for me because that's English class. They just teach how to say vacuum for 2 weeks, and I'm not even joking.
Okay,
like it was 2 weeks of teaching the word vacuum, and it sucked.
Oh yeah, because you're a big part of this. Like, you've always jumped in and given your 2 cents. You've always given such great like insight to it. We've just never actually invited you because of that. But now that I know you're EST, that's gonna be a lot easier to work with. So cool,
let's
guys.
Go.
So let's go ahead and get started today. So, you know, let's go ahead and get up your Bibles right here. We're gonna open the Book of Jesus today. So normally when I've done this in the past, I've always had like one verse that I've always kind of gone with. I'm like, hey, let's start here, or like a group of verses. But today we're gonna jump around a little bit, just because something that's kind of been a little heavy on my mind. We're gonna start with one verse.
Hold on, teacher's calling.
Oh wow, DJ, wow. Everyone, just shake your head at DJ. Just shake your head at her. But anywho, so we're gonna start with Matthew 6:33. It says, "But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." Like, I know this is one of those verses. It's funny, right before that, what's after that? It's like, "Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble." I just want to point out how nuts that is, because we were talking about how anxiety is a thing. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background. Y'all know I've taken about 2 weeks off of streaming. I think yesterday was like close to 3.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back. Way to go.
Yeah.
So,
did you hear?
Oh, you had to read?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I can endorse this, DJ. If I gotta answer,
they're talking about something being subjective and objective. It's fine.
So
everything is fine.
So I'm giving a little background around. Y'all know I just mentioned how I got slammed with schoolwork over the last 2 weeks, and then on top of that, like leading up to it, I suffered from something. You know, this is very much behind the scenes. So for the first time in my life, I've always been very busy. I've always had a lot of things going on. So when I started streaming, it was very easy to start streaming because I'm like, oh, I got school, I got work, I got this, I got all these commitments. But with time management, I've always been really, really good at balancing them. Now, for the first time in my life, I kid you not, I was overworked. I mean, I was beaten. Like, people were looking at me like, dude, are you okay? Like, one of my really good friends actually pulled me aside, and he's like, bro, I'm going to be honest, man. Like, okay, this is going to sound kind of out there, but I'm going to say it. He goes, you know, he's like, you look Hispanic, you look pale white, bro, because that's just how beaten I was from everything. So, and kind of like this season of looking at everything, I hear DJ kind of holding in laughter there. So in this season, I realized, what?
I'm not holding in laughter. You're talking about a serious thing.
Okay, well, it's fine. I laugh about it now, so it's all good. So in this time, I learned I was neglecting a lot of my personal quiet time more than anything. And all of us in the chat, all of us watching, we're all Christian streamers. We're all part of AOG. Most of us are part of Gamers for Christ. A few of us part of Unashamed Network. We view streaming differently. It's not just, hey, let's go and play games. Oh, Dabster's here. What's up, Dabs? How's it going, buddy? So we view streaming very, very differently. Yeah, just feel free to jump
Hey
into
guys,
the Discord. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? You doing all right, bro?
going good. Yeah, I'm doing good. Sorry I'm late.
Nah, you're totally fine, man.
Yeah,
So as I was saying, we view all of us do streaming very differently. We're trying to point to something greater. It's a ministry. I'll say it first. I wasn't going to go that deep, but I'll say it. Streaming for us is a ministry. It's a way to interact with people who may not know Christ. So today I really want to talk about what goes on behind the scenes. Like really what is life like outside of streaming? AKA how do we do self-care? Because that's something that's been so heavy on me was that I realized I wasn't getting break. I was so busy pouring into these different ministries that I was forgetting to have myself poured into. I wasn't taking time for me. I wasn't taking time to rest. Like, and let's be honest, it's one thing if you're just a regular streamer. It's like, oh, I'm going to go in, I'm going to play a game, I want to get from point A to point B and have these jokes. Like, that's going to be the thing. But for us, let's be honest, there's a lot more that goes into it. And this is why, Dabster, I'm really excited you're here today, man. Because, like, let's be real here. Like, Dabs, you and your family are so involved in the Christian gaming community. Like, everybody knows you guys. Like, I think y'all are probably, like, the most popular household in the entire community. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know a single person that doesn't know you. Like, I'm just being legit.
well,
Yeah. So
I don't. I
yeah,
appreciate that, but of course,
yeah.
all glory to God.
Of course,
I don't
man.
think
Yeah.
we're the most popular, but
So let's see. Let's see. Oh, I'm definitely gonna try to join study this week, Shades. No worry. But Shades agreed.
oh
She
yeah,
said you
Bible
guys
study.
are
Yeah,
great.
you
I
guys are
know.
all
I know
welcome.
DJ Pero definitely would agree. So this is gonna be for everybody, of course. But like, definitely, let's think. Hello, artsy Bible nerd. Welcome to the chat. So
But yeah,
here's my question, Dabs. Like, I wanna nothing too personal, but like, I really want to hear like your perspective or what you do to keep yourself ready for the streams. Like just the behind the scenes, because no one realizes like when you're streaming the work that goes into it, like the work, like the behind the scenes stuff. But I really want to talk about like the behind the scenes, how you keep yourself filled, how you keep yourself ready, how you're able to stay so you are ready to stream. Because let's be honest, when you kind of neglect yourself and your own self-care in that and your own quiet time, you're not very effective in the field. Like that's just a reality, I think.
yeah, yeah. I think that like what I do personally and my family too, like before our streams and like the days in between all of them, of course, just pray and I'm gonna call. I'm so sorry.
Nah, you're good, man. Okay, so he's gonna take that call. DJ, your turn. Same question then.
Oh no. Um, well, lately it's been more of a getting home from college, like dropping all my stuff, putting nuggets in the oven, while at the same time turning on my PC, getting everything set up, the lighting, the background, getting everything set up. Going back to the
uh,
kitchen, getting the nuggets, getting juice, sitting down at the PC, eating as fast as I can, turn on the lighting, and just change the title and go live.
wow. Well then, for starters, thank you, artsy Bible nerd, for the follow. Appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. Love to tell us a little about yourself, how you found the channel, what you into, and of course the biggest thing. I make all the new chatters do this for the most part. Is tell us your flex for the day. What's your one like flex that I'm proud of? This is what I did today. So please share with us, artsy Bible nerd. Love to get to know you, man. So, but anywho, yes, the nuggets are important. That is a thing. Hey,
Easy
we have
nutrition.
we have a routine, and that's something I've kind of learned about fairly recently. Like this is something I've actually spent the last like month and a half really diving into is how do we focus on those things. Like something I do every day. This goes without fail. And it's kind of something I took for granted until I did it, was getting home from work, getting whatever class, throw my bag on my chair, and I immediately take my dog outside and I throw the ball. And that's just mindless for me. But here's the thing, is like I'm blowing off steam doing that. Like I'm literally chunking this ball as far as I can. I have a pit bull, so she can run. Like I chunk that bad boy and she goes after it. Like that's the thing, man. Like that is it for sure. But like something, of course, I do want to follow because I didn't think about it till just now. Like, you're, to my knowledge, you're still living in another country. Joke. So, Uh, I'm kidding because you were just talking about how you're
Mm-hmm.
in a different time zone
Mm-hmm.
recently. So
Mm-hmm.
how are you able to really keep yourself filled when there's really not much of a church around you from what you told me. Like
Well,
I know the community here really does help.
yeah. Well, I watch sermons. I try every Sunday, but lately it's been a little bit harder because I have college Saturdays as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it just by Sunday I'm dead. Like Sundays are the days that I stay in bed until noon because I need that. um,
Oh,
but
what it feels to be young again.
dude, it's just Sunday is my one day off. Like every other day I have something. And even
Oh,
Sundays I have something. I have AOG practice and then I have Bible study and then I have a lot of things to get done.
so
And
I'm
watching
gonna
sermons is the one thing. I'm going to Bible studies as well.
I'm gonna
I
make
know the
fun of
feeling.
DJ. I'm gonna make fun of DJ for a bit. All the adults in the
Wow.
room just point and laugh at her for one quick second there. So, but
Ha
anywho,
ha. Funny. Ha
oh
ha.
yeah, definitely. So, but Dapster, kind of similar question, man. So, like, back to what we are talking about. How is it that you keep yourself filled before you go live?
So, one thing that we do, like me and my family, when we stream, before we go live, we just pray, just honestly to the spirit, and just ask, just for it to be led by, of course, just led by God, not us or anything or anyone else, but to keep the main priority on God, and to help us to keep our eyes fixed on Him and not let, because we can easily get distracted, games or ideas or, you know, just so many things out there. And sorry if you hear the dogs in the background.
No, that's fine. Mine's asleep behind me, so it's all good.
Also, dogs sitting at the same time.
Oh, that's awesome. We love it. We love the puppies, of course. So,
Of course.
I wanna build on that. So it's funny. You said when it comes to games. So this is just me. Like, let's. I'm trying to figure out how to word this question here. So, are you saying like represent Christ carefully through a specific game? Because let's be honest, a lot of us play some very competitive online games in which sometimes our more character flaws have a habit of showing when it's not going our way. If you know what I mean. Is that what you're referring to?
So what I was saying is like just let the streams be spirit led. But that is also another point that we could touch on though. Just trying to be a good representation of Christ in games in general. Like, because especially competitive games, it can be easy to rage
Oh,
for
totally.
some. Uh, but yeah, at that point, just like ask the Holy Spirit to help you.
Keep me in line, Lord, please. Fix
Yeah,
it, Lord,
exactly.
fix it. Oh, yeah. So that's why, like, I really want to dive into really like what life is behind outside the stream, what it takes for us to taking care of ourselves. That's the big one. That's why I read
Oh yeah.
633, Matthew 633. Seeking first the kingdom, learning how to do that, like really understanding how important our walk is. Like that is like when we're I have a teacher that really talks about this so much of just the importance of staying in the word. And Dapster, you said the magic word of staying in prayer. That's such a huge one. Like I just read one of the many books that I crammed read last night was a book called Rediscovering Holiness, and that's something that was big. It's like prayer life should be something that's a reflex. He compared it to like for the athletes in the room going to like sport camp, going to tennis school, or going to one of those. Tennis was a specific one he used. He basically said like it's not you don't just go into tennis and hit it. What happens when you hit the ball? It's gonna fly somewhere. It's gonna go over the fence or whatever it is. Yes, that's how I play tennis. Don't judge me. But you learn when you go to tennis camp. You learn the proper way how to do a stroke, how to swing, how to serve. These are the things you learn how to do to keep it in play. So, and that's kind of what our prayer life should be like. It should be something that's learned so we're able to do it properly. Like, feel free to agree or disagree. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
Yeah. But I think you're right, yeah. But I do think like prayer is, of course, it's not something we should do like just once a day, just to check the list, you know.
Oh,
Um,
I wish I can get away with once a day. I'm a prayer warrior. I'm not gonna lie.
oh yeah, yeah. No, that's good though. That's how we should all be. Like
Yeah,
praying.
it really is.
I think it's either First Thessalonians 5:17. It says to pray continually, and that means and continually. That means like constantly, over and over again. And obviously, God doesn't expect us to pray like every second of the day, but to always be in a prayer mindset, always talking to God throughout the day. It doesn't have to be like 30-minute prayer, but just constantly be connected to God and talk to Him throughout the day, like He's your
Mm,
friend, because He is. He's our best friend. He
totally.
should be.
Yeah, totally. That brings me another verse that I have right here. We're gonna stick in Matthew for pretty much most of the day. 5:13. It says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet." Like, how much of a scary thought is that? Like, let's be real. Like, how scary is that to kind of lose that? Because obviously, this verse is talking about not taking care of ourselves the way we should and losing that effectiveness of it. Like, how much of a fear is that for you guys? Now I gotta let the dog in real quick, but like, someone just jump in on there.
May you repeat the voice. I'm so sorry.
Oh, hang on, I had to step away.
All good, all good.
Yeah, no. The verse was taught is Matthew 5:13. It says, "You are the salt of the earth, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? It is no longer
Oh
good
yeah,
for
yeah.
anything except to be thrown out and trampled under people's feet." Like, let's think about like back then. Let's talk to my good friend Herman Hermeneutics. Salt back then was a lot for using preservation. It was used for, especially storing meat and all sorts of things. So, and it's also a flavor enhancer, like all sorts of things that we can use. So that's why he refers to us as salt eaters. We're the ones who are super effective. We're the ones pouring into people all these things. Y'all follow me. So, but how scary is it that when we lose our flavor, we're useless? When we're just dried out? Like, that's,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so you'll
Sorry,
kind of see the pattern I'm going on here is really understanding the importance of keeping our spiritual lives in check, of being able to keep ourselves, and more importantly, how we do that. Because, like, the funny thing about that is, yes, everyone has the same answers of, oh, we stick with prayer, oh, we stick with staying in the Word, but really, there's more to it than that. Like, everyone has their own different things. Like, no, your quiet time is different from my quiet time. Like, I mean,
sure.
DJ, let's be honest, your whole routine is very different because of your location. Like, this is why I really wanted to talk about this today, is how we really take care of ourselves, how we do that, and how we, just how we're able to keep ourselves fresh for the stream. And then the fear of what happens when we're not, because I'm not going to lie, like, I'll be dead honest, there were a couple streams I did where that was definitely not in my mindset. Like, there was definitely some moments where I was just kind of like, I want to stream because I've been having some really good trends, really good numbers, and I want to keep that up. Like, because y'all know I've had over since I think March, or no, yeah, since like late February to March, my channel has really taken off quite a bit more than I thought it would, and which is a blessing from God indeed. But there was definitely some moments where I streamed mainly because I'm like, all right, let's get my hour in so I can say I streamed, just so I can do it, so I can keep these numbers up because
Mhm.
I'm afraid of losing them. And I felt personally that it was very ineffective for myself. I mean, y'all probably may have never known. I don't know. But these are like, that was kind of where my heart was at that time, where it was just ineffective. I wasn't as good. I probably didn't reference God nearly as much as I should have at some points. Like, it was selfish. I'll say it straight up. It was very, very selfish. So thoughts to you guys. I'll open the floor to y'all.
You know, I'm glad you made that point because that's actually a good point to make. As Christian streamers ourselves, like for a normal streamer, that's what that's their point to try to get the highest numbers and the, you know, how it is with just get the most popular streams. But for us, it can be easy to get like tunnel vision and focus on the numbers and focus on what trends are out. But really, I personally feel like the goal for us as Christian streamers shouldn't be the numbers. It shouldn't be whether something is more popular, we should go over after that. But we should be just focusing on what God leads us personally. If there's one person in a chat, then praise God. If there's more, then praise God. It shouldn't be focused on that. It should be focused on whether we're delivering the message of Jesus, the evangelizing effectively, you know?
Exactly. Well said. DJ, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
Um, sorry, what were we talking about? I had formulated an answer for you and for class, and my brain just divided itself.
So we're talking about basically how easy it is for us
Oh
to get
yeah, I remember.
sidetracked.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So basically, I would say
This is
that.
okay. We're gonna have a public service announcement real quick. This is why it's important that if you are in class, to stay in class. Pay
But
attention. Show respect to the teacher.
I have a response.
Continue,
See, I
DJ.
formulated a response for both you and for the class, and then I like last minute formulated a response for the class, and then you talked to me, and then I was like, wait, what were we talking about? So
Yeah, you're good.
I think like um views in general don't really affect me. Like I've even considered turning off the viewer like count just because it doesn't. I don't want it to affect me, and it's getting to a point where it's affecting me, and I don't like it. I like just streaming, one, for fun, and two, for the glory of God. And of course, that's like the second one is the most important one.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and whenever I like sit down, I don't really think about how many people are watching or how many people care. I just mainly think about having to share the gospel, which is my main point, and then at the same time making an impact in all the people that come in. Because since I have the play with viewers tag, a lot of younger people have started watching me lately,
Hmm.
and getting to know them and making their day better, and them like DMing me afterwards, hey, I really enjoy your stream, thank you for letting me play with you. That's just mainly what the reason why I do it.
You
The
have had
people and sharing the gospel, that's mainly why I do it.
you've had a lot of kids in your stream recently. I didn't think about it till you said it.
Dude, Max came in, who like I've known him for about a year now. Like
Hmm.
he's an awesome kid, and after he came in, they just started multiplying because Max invited his friends, and his friends invited their friends, and then friends invited their friends. So I just have like a community of smaller people that watch me. Plus, my little cousins like watching me, and then they'll like in family reunions, they'll go, "I remember that part in your stream where you were killing this guy, and then you missed, and then you were so bad." And I was like, "Yeah, I remember. Thank you, bud. Thank you for
So
reminding me that I missed that guy."
so when are you gonna get your own kids show?
Dude, I'm gonna have puppets. I'm gonna have the music.
That's awesome. So
Fortnite
and
puppets.
yeah, like I think a big chunk of what we do, like especially like if you're new to the whole like Christian streaming community thing, and we all have this mindset. I think a big chunk of it is kind of like reforming how we view things. Like that's the biggest
Yeah.
thing, is kind of like readjusting. Like something that really made
Uh-huh.
streaming more worthwhile over the last couple weeks, and I've been pretty vocal about this in the chats, more so like in Dabster's chat and Shade's chat. I really haven't DJ, you streamed at like my worst times recently, but I'm glad I was able to catch you last Saturday. So
Wow.
like something that really, hey, I'm just being honest, man. So something that really did it more than anything, and I talked about this the very first coffee and streamer scene, so we're going to kind of go semi full circle here, was I realized, and I had to reform my thinking to where streaming wasn't for just, just for a little bit, especially now. It isn't about the numbers, of course. It never was. I've always said that, and I'm glad I'm readjusting my focus towards that now. It's, of course, about giving glory. It's about ministering to people. It's about being a light in a very dark area. But more importantly, the biggest thing for me, and I'm probably going to stick with this for as long as I'm streaming. Y'all know I'm pretty vocal. Streaming's only a seasonal thing for me. It's not something I'm going to do forever. I don't know what's going to happen after grad school, or I don't know what's going to happen, once I'm done with PhD studies or anything. But like for me, more so now, streaming isn't about reaching people. Now streaming is hanging out with my friends. Like I know that's going to be a little deep for some people, but I'm going to be honest. Like I didn't realize till I wasn't even in chats for like a week and a half that I hadn't spoken. Dapster, you and I talk fairly often. Shades, you and I talk fairly often. DJ, you and I talk fairly often. I didn't know what anyone was up to. I didn't know what was going on. I was completely off the grid for things because I was so slammed with things. I realized I missed my community. I missed the people who I'd hung out with. I missed spending time with them. That was the big thing for me. And I've noticed that when we all kind of hang out, I'm not saying we're the cool kids, but people like viewers from all sorts just kind of gravitate towards whatever channels we're in at that day. And they see that. They see like this community of people, and I think that's awesome. And they really like, I want to get to know this. Like her Shades, last night we had a lot of fun in your chat towards the end of last night. Like that was definitely something big. We were talking about, we definitely went towards like talking about differences in Catholicism and stuff like that. That's a big thing too. But that's kind of my thing. Speaking of Shades, yes, something says lately lately I've been able to do one stream a week, but you got to take care of yourself and your indeed in real life priorities. So that's the biggest thing, is that I'm trying to kind of like reach people with this right now, especially because majority of us in the chat are streamers in some way, or Christians. And let's be honest, if you're a Christian, you're in ministry. That's Welcome to the field, guys. It's not
100%.
just you have to work in a church. If you are a Christian, you're officially in ministry, your call is to share the gospel. You do have to take care of yourself, and sometimes there's no shame in having to take a step back and
Oh
be
yeah.
realize I need to make myself more effective so I can share the gospel. I need to take care of that. Like something I'm very big on when I lead worship all the time. I try not to have the same generic prayer, but there's one thing I always say all the time is when I'm talking to people, it's like leave everything at the door. I know that's a very cliche thing to say, but it's like leave your things at the door for 1 hour and let's point our attention to Christ. Let's do that. Let him work. Let him initiate that dialect and we respond to it accordingly. So that's something that's been so big on my mind now. I know somebody has a thought out there, so feel free to chime. Let's see. Actually, her shades like our whole life should be kingdom mission focused. Indeed, back to Matthew 6:33. It's like you're on mission every day as soon as you wake up. Indeed, make the devil quake. Yeah, you said it, not me, dude. You said it, not me. But
It's the
thoughts,
truth
guys.
though.
It is the truth. It is the God honest truth. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah.
Who's next? Who's
Uh,
next?
sure. But yeah, I totally agree with you there. Just like I know a lot of people have this like misconception that like only those who are like in church are called like those who work as pastors or whatever. But that's so not true. That's so far from the truth. Like because we're all called. We all have a calling for God and they're all important.
Mm-hmm.
We all should not only do we all have a specific calling, but we all as Christians have the calling to evangelize. Jesus didn't just call the pastors or the evangelists, but he called everybody, all his children in the Great Commission to go and make disciples of all nations and to evangelize to people. It should be an everyday thing. And that, just as Shade said, our whole life should be kingdom mission focused. We should be always ready to share the gospel, always ready to share Jesus, you know?
Amen. So, like that, back to what we were talking about with you earlier, because your whole family, basically, y'all founded Gamers for Christ. So, like, the team effort behind you guys is amazing. Like, that is incredible what you guys have been able to do. Like, especially like lately, I'm not gonna lie, I've been bragging about Gamers for Christ to a lot of people. I've been like throwing invites left and right. Like Braveheart, who I think he
Oh,
joined
I
a couple
noticed
days
that.
ago.
I noticed
Yeah,
him.
yeah, he's
And
actually he's a guy that used to live with me in Tristan. He's a youth pastor down the street, and he's trying to take streaming a little more seriously. So I said, "Bro, do you want to get connected to the community?" He's like, "Yeah," and I go, "Cool. Let me just throw this invite at you." Same thing. And then another friend who I met on Monday. Was it? No, yesterday was Monday. Sunday night, actually, yeah, Sunday night. Where another one where it was a up and coming Christian streamer, I think Lily PhD or something like that. C's like very open about her faith, and she's like, I'm new, I'm just about to hit 25 followers. I'd like to get involved with this community. Or I said, do you know about Game of Christ? Never heard of it. And her and one other person, I don't think Lily joined yet, but the other one I sent her in, she's looking around and stuff. I think she's digging it so far. But
that's good to
yeah,
hear.
but like the work that you guys do is incredible. But like, is there anything like, especially as a family, since y'all have your own like roles, is there like a level like, not to be too personal, of course, but how do y'all keep yourselves like poured into in that moment? Like, I really want to hear your side of that. How y'all get this like whole thing going, and how you keep yourself spiritually ready while running this entire server.
Yeah, so when we launched Gamers for Christ, before it, we were kind of like hesitant to launch a whole server about it, but we just felt God continuously like just leading us to make this server for Him, of course. And we don't even say that like we're leading. We always say it's just like led by God, you know. We want
Mm-hmm.
it to be completely spirit led. And what we do to like keep ourselves, you know, spiritually grounded and making sure we have the right priorities. We always just continuously pray over it in our daily prayers. Um, we also like, you know, just do like prayer, fasting, and all that. I don't usually like talk about that the fasting part because you know we should be doing that behind closed doors.
Yeah,
But
yeah, like I get you, I get you.
uh, but we're always just continuously praying about it over it, trying to keep our priorities on God. You know, because like I said earlier, it can be easy to have your priorities skewed and just you know focus on things that we shouldn't be focusing on. But again, like just continuously just praying over it and talking to the community and just keeping our priorities straight mainly,
Oh yeah, one thing I love is every time I see a new member join Gamers for Christ, you and Brittany are the first to be like, "Welcome." Like it reminds me so much of like a church. Like I'm gonna be honest, like a church, and you see a new member come in, and the pastor is there at the door to greet him. He's like, "Hi, how are you? Welcome. Where are you from?" Like y'all are so welcoming in that. And I think that is like awesome of you guys to take care of people like that.
Yeah, of course, glory to God.
Yeah. So I don't want to get too personal, Dabs. Uh oh, it's a DJ. Is DJ now paying attention in class? I realize that. Sure, her mic is muted. Look at you.
What?
There you are. Look at that.
I am here.
Okay, I thought. Okay, yeah, you hadn't chimed in a while. I was wondering if
Oh,
you were
I
still there.
deafened a little bit because I was answering the teacher, but I'm back.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, like, staying with the Gamers for Christ thing. So, DJ, let's talk about like your impressions for Gamers for Christ and how that's like really helped your spiritual life, especially.
I think Game of Christ is a great idea. I really enjoy the community that's a part of it. I think everyone's really nice. Like I haven't had any situation where, like, because like things happen, feelings get hurt. Some people like sometimes make a joke that either I or other people can find like upsetting or something like that, but that's never happened to me in Game of Christ. In fact, I've been the one that had to apologize. um but yeah, I think it's really cool. I really enjoy the community. I love being a part of there, and they're really great. Don't make that face, Pedro. What on earth?
I made that face. What are you gonna do?
I made that joke, and it was I apologize because like stuff happens.
It happens to the
All
best
good,
of
all
us.
good.
All. It happens to the best of us.
Nobody's perfect.
Don't come at me.
Oh gosh, that's funny though. Oh man. So snap. So one thing I did want to talk, like I had a question for kind of both y'all, of course, and this is for chat as well. Like I know y'all heard about like how I took some time off to focus on some things, and it was great for me, and I loved it, and I'm really excited. And I think the one thing I loved the most is that I'm motivated to be back. I felt like taking the time was so good for me, but now I'm like on fire to get back. Like I have been ready. Like I almost want to stream every day this week, except I can't because I have like a couple of work night
Yeah.
events I got to do. But like I think that's what shows the sign of a good break when you're able to adjust your focus on Christ, like we talk about seeking the kingdom first, and maintaining that. It makes you want to be back in. It makes you kind of run back towards it. So like Dabster, like what I think a month or two ago, no, 2 weeks ago, right when I decided I need to take a break, y'all took about a week off of gaming and streaming in general. Now, not to get too personal, because I know like when you take these breaks, they're your business. You shouldn't have to like explain to people what it is. But like, what was that period like for you guys? Like, really, what was that like? If I may ask, you don't have to get too personal, but I'm really kind of curious of what that was like for y'all.
Yeah, it's actually really nice, honestly. Because like it was Holy Week, so honestly, I didn't plan on it at first. Then like when we talked about it as a family, we all decided to do it. Um, to just take the week off gaming and streaming in general from Holy Week. Not completely like disconnect, but just, take a break from gaming and stuff. But honestly, it was really good for me personally because I just was getting more into worship and just talking to God personally, having quiet time, and it's really good to honestly, just in general, doing taking breaks sometimes it can be really good for you spiritually to recharge, to keep your priorities on God. But yeah, that's how it was for me. Just it felt like it was a good time to recharge and talk to God and you know, just that.
Of course, careful there. You said, excuse me. Wow, that was rude. You said the
You're fine.
magic word there, the worship word, and y'all know I can go way too
Dude,
deep into
yes.
that. Like I will run down the rabbit hole when it comes to that. So
Same,
like
dude.
DJ, like same question. Have you ever felt the need? I think recently you have. I know you're really stressed when it came to like jumping to new schools and getting a new classwork. All these things. I know you have now Saturday school. I know you're very like much. I think you took a break at one point too. I'd love to hear how that was, if you don't mind sharing. Not to get too personal, of course.
I haven't taken a break in a long time. There was a time when because I've been streaming for about 3 years. It's almost 4 years. Like that's insane. Uh, but I've been streaming for 3 years, and around the second year is when I was started taking it more seriously. But I took a break because I was streaming from PS4 at the time, and I took a break, a long break. It was like maybe 3 months of streaming. I was still like online, but I wasn't
Hmm.
streaming. And that's when I got like a better, I got a PC, which is not the one that I have right now. I use my dad's. But I was able to stream better. Like I was able to stream Minecraft and stuff like that, like easy run games. And that's when I started like kind of streaming with a better like setup, and then I switched to the PC that I have now because I was able to buy it. But I think breaks are necessary. I did not no, don't take like long breaks. Sometimes I do feel like I get home from college. I'm like, bro, I don't want to stream today, so I just cancel it. Children get sad, but that's okay.
That'll be all right.
That'll be alright. Like I always promise them that I'll play at some point, and they know. Um, but yeah, I think it's really important to take breaks, especially when you get tired. You know what I mean? Like you just get tired and you don't feel like. Because like for me, streaming just increases my personality by 3.
It
And it's not something that I do. It's not me being fake and putting on a mask, but it's just me automatically feeling more energetic, me
Yeah,
feeling like,
yeah,
and I'm already energetic, so that like makes me even like it's like if I drink an energy drink, that's me and like streaming. Um,
I'm afraid of
so
that thought.
sometimes I just get home and I'm not energetic, and I know that if I start streaming, I want to be more energetic, and I won't have the energy to do it, and then I'll get tired and I won't be able to. So I just don't. I just
Hmm.
choose not to in those days.
Oh yeah, it's funny you brought up the personality thing. One of my professors, I'm studying worship theology. I talk about that a lot. And one thing they talk about when leading worship, or not even leading worship, just preaching in general, they talk about the ministry of the face. And what he means is like, or do you look like you're enjoying what you're talking about? Now, I have a love-hate relationship with this because I feel like when you're faking it, we can tell. Like I could tell a fake smile from an authentic one, like a mile away. Like that's just any of us. And that's why I love what you just brought up there because like when our viewers see us, they don't want just that like lame person who at the camera all day. Like, and I know, and I'm not talking about the game face. Like, we all have the game face. Like, let's be real. The game face is very real. Shades, I'm looking at you. I've seen you play Halo. The game face is real. But like even then, like when we're still enjoying ourselves and we're passionate about it, people enjoy that. Now speaking of Shade, she had a lot to say right here. Let's catch up. She says, trying to develop more time with the Bible, plans, family. Your sis started a new job, so I don't see her till the evenings, and if I stream, I start streaming before she gets home. I don't even get to spend time with her much because our schedules are off different when we live in the same house. There's personal sacrifice you have to make when working full-time and adult life priorities, and streaming, agree. The struggle of finding the work life and the streaming in balance. I think that's 100% accurate. Dabs, are you agreed there? The cost to
yes,
stream
completely.
and to do it for good, focus on building a godly community, is sacrificing that. That is, I have a thing to say about that, but I do agree. Personal relationships. Dabs just said that. Oh gosh, let's see. Oh yeah, for sure. It's been one of my favorite struggles. Okay, I see what she did. I was like, oh wait, what did I do? I saw the finger point, but it's true. Yeah, it's funny. I'm gonna go back. Sage, you said sacrificing personal relationships. Like I have a. I'm gonna be honest. That word personal. I feel like that view is like I'm not disregarding that at all. I hope you realize I'm not insulting you. Um, it's kind of like in the eye of the beholder because like you are right. I do feel like sometimes like with people like down the street, it is sometimes streaming can be a thing to that. Like that can be sometimes like a thing. They could sometimes be like, sorry, I can't because I have this plant or something along those lines. But I think about, I'm going to go back to what I said earlier. I think about the community we have here. And even though we're far away and none of us have met in person, at least to my knowledge, none of us have met in person. I don't think, y'all may have hung out a couple times. I've never had with y'all. But I do think that being able to like game with each other, I like to say that I do have a personal relationship with you guys. Like I think the biggest reason why I say y'all have a personal relationship with me, and this is like a game changer for the most part, is y'all know my real name. I know I joke about that, but I don't let that out there fairly often. I do not. That's something like, hey, look, that's private. That's me.
Should I
I
call
don't.
you sir?
Ha ha ha. Funny. You know what I mean. But that was a good one though. But that's a big one. I like to keep life outside the street to myself. The most I tell people is I live in Texas for DFW. I don't tell them where. Sometimes I'll bring up what school I'm at if they ask, but that's about it. So, Gilbert.
Hi, Gilbert.
Oh, hey Gilbert, how's it going?
No, that's someone I call sir.
Oh, I know, right? That response never gets old. No one ever. The response when people find out Pedro's not my real name, it just blows me away every single time. I don't know why, it just does. But like that's the thing, and I'm glad you appreciate it. So sometimes I feel like, especially like in this season where I took a lot of time away, and like, that was the big. I missed you guys. I realized I wasn't hanging out with people, especially because like all my friends over here, like the ones that I actually see, like my IRL friends. Sure, let's keep talking in the game chat. Those people, I wasn't seeing them either because we were all slammed. We're all in the same classes. Like all of us were drowning in bookwork. So it was kind of nuts that I was like, man, like I haven't like seen daylight in days. I think I put that in somebody's chat at one point, and I was actually being serious. Like I haven't left my apartment. Like I've had like DoorDash delivered. Okay, not really DoorDash because that's too expensive, but I have like a pizza left at the door, and I'll move on with life. It's like that stuff, and that stuff really, let's be honest, fellowship with each other really replenishes us a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it really does. Let's see what Shades had to say. I feel like it's a bit easier to pour into these online personal relationships. 100% agree. But it comes to cost for pouring into the personal relationship we have in real life because those take more time and energy than simply logging in online. That is
100%.
100%. That is dropping the microphone right there, Shades.
Even like I have the perfect example.
Oh, please share.
Spider-Man: No Way Home
Oh,
was like almost on pre-sale. And my friends and I were like, I have my nerd friends and I have my normal friends from college. My nerd friends are the one from chess club, all right? So there's about like 5 of us that are
You
the
could have just
younger
called them.
people that
You
go
could
to
have just
chess
called them
club.
your chess club friends. We would have gotten it.
My nerd friends. And we were together, like all 5 of us. The random day that all 5 of us were on the same day at chess club. And we were like, hey, yo, Spider-Man, who's going? And everyone was like, yeah, agreement, yeah, 100%. We never went because we couldn't figure out a time that worked for everyone. We didn't go. It was hilarious. Like we had planned it for about a month, and none of us went.
You know, that's a thing because, like, believe it or not, I didn't even bother calling my friends to go see Spider-Man. I just went. Like, I'm that person where I'm like,
Yeah, I went with my dad.
I literally just I bought myself a ticket. I drove myself to the theater, and I bought food while I was there. I made a night out of it. That is how you enjoy
Wait,
life.
you bought food at this movie theater?
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
there's
The expensive stuff.
you know, like here's the funny part. There's a place
Mhm.
over here called Studio Movie Girl. Well, there's a different one. There's places like it. Almost every theater has something similar to that now. Like that's a huge part of where I live. But if you pick the right one, they're not horribly expensive. And on top of that, because they focus so much on food, the ticket prices are a lot cheaper. So you could buy like a ticket and then like whatever you save, you could probably just spend on food. Like it's a total marketing play, and I'm not gonna lie, it works for me. You know, sue me. It is what it is. I love Gilbert.
Interesting.
Your nerd
Me.
friends could be all of us on Twitch.
I said IRL.
Oh,
Because I'm not gonna go see Spider-Man No Way Home with someone from the other side of the planet. Yeah, let me just take a 14-hour flight over there so we can see Spider-Man No Way Home. Like that's
Hey,
not gonna
you
work.
know,
we're gonna watch the
Dab-
Batman.
yeah, Dabster's driving to my house just so we can go watch the new Doctor Strange movie. So,
It's Doctor Strange now. Yeah.
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 Oh, I love Gilbert says I stinking love theaters. What I have food too, not just candy and popcorn. Agree. You could. Oh my gosh, Gilbert, come on, man. Watching it illegal. Let's see.
We don't.
Shade's got more wisdom here. It says, what God is doing online Twitch is incredible, and I'm so blessed by it, which is why I think it's so easy to get really excited about that and hyper-focus on all your available time into it. 100%, I will drink to that right there. It's a good thing, however, it could be dangerous because I don't want to neglect the people God has put in my proximity in my day-to-day life. That's what we're talking about here. That's actually the biggest thing.
100%.
It's easy to do that, but we have
Yeah,
to take
for sure.
care of. That's like the thing we have to do, and that's why like I really wanted to hear what Dabster had to say because his whole family is involved in this thing. Like, and it's it has pros and cons, I'm sure, but that's a big thing y'all do. That's such a huge commitment for you guys. And then DJ, same thing, especially like from what you've told me. I could be wrong, but it's not easy being a believer in your area, and and that's something I've discovered a lot over here is that it is easy to get caught in that. And my whole personal life was getting totally neglected. Like I said, my friends looked at me and were like, "Bro, you look pasty white," and I'm not. Like I'm brown as can be. Like we got caramel chocolate going on over here. Just gonna be honest. But on a side note, Kathy, I love what you said. You're like, we didn't even bother because we couldn't even find a day to go see the movie. All I could think of is when Shades first put the Overwatch server together in her channel. We're all trying to find time to play. How many days do we go through before we finally found Thursdays? And even that's been the flip of a coin. Like we're difficult too. Gamers are just as difficult sometimes. But I'm loving hearing all these stories. That is the common factor that we've all experienced is how do we balance life away from the computer? How do we balance life away from the controller? Like how do we do that? How is it? And I think Shade said it best. It takes time management. I think something I've learned that has been great for me personally, and I'm no expert. All of y'all have been streaming a lot longer than I have been. But something I found because of my hectic schedule, it's incredibly busy beyond belief. Is at the beginning of every week, I'm like, okay, we're gonna do no more than 2 to 3, one minimum, but no more than 2, no more than 3. 2 is pretty good, but those are the days I need. Like I have every Saturday, I go out for coffee with my buddy. That's the thing that he and I do every single week, and then I have lunch with another group of guys every single week, like once a week, same time every day. These are like it just. I think it takes the little extra effort of sitting down and thinking, what is it? How do we do it? Like, where are the times that I can spend with those people in my life? Let's see. Gilbert said it best. It's like we're people or something. Hold on, wait a minute. Are you telling me gamers are people? Hold on. Is this the thing? Are gamers actual people? DJ, answer the question.
But I'm making an excuse on why I didn't do the homework.
Oh my gosh, DJ.
Oh dear.
DJ. So, I mean, you guys.
What was the question?
Gilbert says, I mean, I might be. You guys are. Okay, yeah. So speaking of
no,
time
moving
management,
Moving on.
I think it's ironic. We've been talking about taking care of ourselves off stream, doing what we need to do, and then DJ has been in class this whole time while trying to take part in this. And then my favorite part, she said, I'll make an excuse for why I didn't do the homework. For starters, child, pro tip from the adult here is the secret to a happy life. No explanations, no excuses. Just admit you didn't do it and move on. Own up to it. You'd be astonished how, well, I'm not going to say.
No, I'm like, she already knows I didn't do it. I'm just explaining why.
Let's see. Gilbert said because she's a child prodigy, she doesn't.
That's a straight up lie. I do study.
Yeah, okay. Well, either way, I think you should take notes here about what that is. Shade says, I'm aiming for 1 to 2 streams a week so I can, number 1, ensure spending time with fellowship, personal relationship with God, and 2, spending quality time with friends and family. Number 3, spending time on anything that is good for my physical and mental health. Yes. Can we please, like, I think, you know what, Shades? I think that needs to go on, like, your next t-shirt idea. That needs to go up there. I think, that's, maybe we should all work together one day and, like, make a Devo about this. I think that should be something we'd all should consider writing, like, the Armor of God esports, like, self-care devotional guide or something like that. This should be a thing. Like, I honestly think that. And I think Shades just has, like, the back cover right there. Spending quality time with friends and spending on good, oh my gosh, chicken soup for the gamer soul.
What?
That, I mean, like, that is a joke, but it's not a horrible idea because, Shades, you said it best a second ago. It's so easy to get caught into what God is doing. Like, when I first started streaming, like, I'm actually planning my 1-year anniversary stream pretty soon, which that'll be super exciting.
Same.
Yeah, we're not gonna do any more Bean Boozled. That was a one-time thing, and we're never doing that again. I could not taste.
Dude, I'm never going to buy Bean Boozles again in my life. Just the fire ones. The fire ones are actually alright. They still make me gag though, because the taste of pepper and sugar is just disgusting.
Screw the fire ones. But anyway, but yeah, like that is a thing. Like, Shades, I was thinking about that. I think that'd be like, I'm partly joking, but I'm being legit here. Is that should be something we like maybe in the future we all could work together, consider it. Maybe all of us take like one chapter because we all have very different lives. We all do sorts of different things. But I think, Shades, what you said right there, those top 3 things were so well spoken. Very, very well said. You know what, Shades? You have a future going into this kind of thing right there. Let's see. Gilbert says, number one, spending time with God. This is why I initially forced Bible reading to become part of what I do. Amen. It's not forced anymore. It's fact, it's part, minus the names I butchered. I look forward to most. Dude, no one knows how to say those names. You're totally fine. In fact, I always say, that person there, especially when I'm going through like Samuel, first Samuel specifically. Say, who does? Gilbert's calling you out, DJ.
Guys, guys,
Genealogies.
Yeah,
I'm free.
yeah. Oh, class finally
Hey.
over.
Yeah, boy.
Definitely. Congratulations. But anywho, like, it's funny, Gilbert. You said it right there, forcing yourself to. Like, wish, I wish that reading the Bible was easy. I wish doing it because that's part of that self care thing that we're talking about of stepping away. Like, I am trying to get myself into a habit of if I don't have quiet time that day, then I'm not even touching, OBS. I'm
Yeah.
not even gonna do it. Like, if I haven't, then
Yeah.
what am I doing?
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a huge
I always
thing.
like I start my day with the Bible and I end my day with the Bible. So like I don't even if I'm late, if I'm gonna wake up later, I always read the Bible and for some like God always provides. I've never been more than 5 minutes late to class.
I wish I could say that.
Mm.
But it has
So
nothing to do with Twitch. I'm just really bad at making it on
You know,
time to
Pedro, we're
class.
talking about time management.
Hey, here's the thing. Like,
Going full on no you on
hey, here's the funny part about that. And this is where, like, the teacher gave me a lot of flack, and I honestly kind of hate it, but it is what it is. Is yes, there's a morning class I could not make time for, but I got the highest grade in the class, and she knew it. So it's kind of one of those,
That's
like,
hilarious.
yeah, and I was always on time
Yeah.
with the homework, so I'm not gonna say it was a privilege, but she knew, like, okay, like, he's gonna do his stuff, aka I earned that right. But anywho, let's
Yeah,
see.
the English teacher just lets me do my thing at this point. Like,
Oh yeah, Gilbert says, I wish I.
she just doesn't care. Like she'll ask me something and then I'll answer, and she's like, "Okay."
Oh yeah, Gilbert says, I wish I can honestly say I start my day with the Bible, but I always make time for it. I agree with you. That's something I struggle with a lot. And normally I've gotten to a point now where I actually have my quiet time at lunch because I'm not a morning person at all. Like I'm even though I'm mostly on time to things, mostly keyword, I'm pretty much running 80 miles an hour to get there. Like I'm just gonna be dead honest. Like I do. Like that's the real honest truth about myself. So I got in a habit where I really have my quiet and reading time during lunch, but that's just me. So, but I gotta make time. That these are like little things I try to do. But I'm probably gonna start taking what everybody else said, and I love Gilbert said it best. Tate said it too. Gilbert said it right after. Is like the priority of number one is spending time with God, and that's going back to what he said: seeking first the kingdom. Because if we're not chasing after God on a 24-hour basis, then what are we doing? And I'm not even talking about streaming anymore. I'm just talking about life in general.
Oh yeah.
Because the cool things that those come with us. Like I think about my time here at the seminary that I've been doing my master's degree, and the hardest problem I've had is having personal quiet time because I read my Bible all the time for just about every assignment I have, and it's so easy to substitute that for quiet time. It is easy to substitute that for quiet time, and I hate that. Like, and I really have to fight that on a regular basis to make sure that I still do not neglect it. But when I'm really focused on being, especially here, being equipped, glorifying God while I'm at this school, while I'm at this season, and just being able to be a light in places where maybe places are neglected, I've been able to meet some really cool friends. Like, I'm not talking about like Twitch friends. Like, I've been able to meet some really cool people. Most of them are pretty supportive. Some of them are actually part of this community. Dave, if you're watching, looking at you, bro. Like, been able to do that. I've grown in exponential ways that I've been able to pour into others. Like right now I am in a very good opportunity where my school, since I'm a grad student, they're letting me spend time with undergrads and being able to like not mentor them, but kind of bring them up and spend time with them, being like, hey, this is what life is like coming up if you want to continue grad studies. And I really enjoy that. It's such a blessing to be able to do those things. But when you seek the kingdom, things go well. Like it works out, and you're blessed in ways you don't even understand. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, oh, do it, you're gonna get everything you want, because it doesn't work that way. It definitely does not. But you find blessings that you really did not think you would have at one point, and that's always something worth seeing. And that's always seeing God work in life is always awesome. Let's see. I love what Gilbert said. It becomes work and just going through the motions. These are what feel the Pharisees were guilty of. Amen. They knew the word, but they just went through the actions. They didn't seek. And it's so funny you brought that verse up in Matthew 7:7, because that's so I feel like as especially people who try to reflect God on stream regular basis, we're so susceptible to that of just going through the motions. Like I said, I was guilty of that a week and a half ago of just going through the motions of just throwing in the Jesus card every once in a while, and it beat me up. It dried me out faster than if I just wasn't doing the word. Okay, rant over. I'm done. Thoughts?
Good
But
friend.
there, but you
This is
did
my
go through a
stream.
lot, so I have a lot of thoughts.
Go ahead.
But
My,
kind
I don't even know what I just said. There was so much there.
yeah, I'm trying to
God,
remember everything. But just time management in general, yes. That for me has been a struggle since the beginning, honestly. That's what I'm still working on. Uh, because just making time, obviously forgot it first and foremost. And then making time for college, for family, for streaming, for other responsibilities we have on the side, and just everything else. It's really, really hard.
It
Like,
really is.
it
but
is, but time management. That's what it is.
yeah, it's important. And
It. Oh, go ahead.
no, you can talk if you need to.
Well, like it reminds me. I think last time we did one. I think the one we did with Shades. We talked about why, like, especially as a new streamer, streaming every day is a bad idea. And I think we just said everything right there. Why?
Yeah,
That's about it. I
even
stream
if
5 days
I
a week, guys.
even if I
Well,
wanted to,
well,
I
you
couldn't
you
stream
you
every
have that
day.
kind of you have that kind of time, DJ.
I don't though. Like I make time for it. My free time equals my streaming time.
It says the one who forgot her homework assignment.
I didn't forget it. I just I took one look at it. It was the teacher was the teacher said it's really small. I open it. It's 5 pages, and most of it is questions and there's a little text and like this huge question. The
I got
question
you.
was longer than my answer.
So Shade said it best though, or she had another great point. Unless you're doing a charity stream for a temporary period of time, yes, that is 100%. That is
Dude,
definitely
I did a 12-hour stream and literally injured my finger by clicking. It's still not better. It's
Ow.
been 2 weeks.
these are gamer
It's been
problems.
2 weeks. I'm
Huge,
considering
Hard
going to
gaming.
the doctor
huge,
for
huge,
injuring my finger by clicking.
huge gamer problem right there. Psalm
100%.
23, Gilbert says that sometimes he makes us rest because we know. Yes, indeed, that's the big. Like I said, I went through that
Yeah,
where
for sure.
I had so much schoolwork. I had to read about 4 or 5 books in 2 days. Don't ask me what they were about, but I read them. So when I have to mark down, like, did you actually read the full book? I can honestly say, yes, I did. But that is 100% there. Is he makes us rest indeed. And I think the charity streams, and this is where, like, I'm going to just go from what I've seen. Shades, I'm going to brag on you for a minute because you brought up the charity stream going every day for what you did. Number one, I think of course that is the exception because that is the epitome of not doing it for you. Like you don't have to be a Christian streamer to do for people to realize a charity stream is not for you and what you've done. You're really trying to bring attention to something else. And for us, we're trying to be servants while bringing attention to Christ while serving something we're passionate about, which is always great. But Shade's like, it's funny, we bring up the idea of rest and time management. The last one you did, and I know you're doing another one pretty soon, we didn't see you for almost 2 weeks. Like, honestly, I thought you died. Like, I honestly was convinced that something had happened in Florida and we never knew about it because, and I was like, well, I guess we'll never see Shades again. And then she's back. And look at what happened when you came back. Like, I think that shows, like, the power of, like, just time management and what that does. Especially you were putting so much extra time into bringing glory to the kingdom. And look at what you did. Like, you shattered your records. I mean, that was all God, of course, but he used you so well in that. I mean, like, if y'all want to chime in,
Oh,
feel
hi,
free.
mother. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah,
All
definitely.
right, mother has spoken. Lunchtime. I gotta go. Bye, guys.
Enjoy
God
All right.
bless.
Later, kiddo. So, Daps, you got any topics on that or any 2 cents there?
Honestly, like that just keeping your priorities straight really is what comes to mind. Like if you're doing it for God, you know. I've already touched on that part, but I remember I was gonna say something about what you said earlier, but I don't remember what it was. Let me go back.
Y'all know this as well as anyone. When I start talking about Jesus, I have a habit of rambling.
All good. Okay, it's good.
It's why I'm in seminary.
Yeah, exactly. But just making time for God in the morning, that can be a struggle. And I've come to the point where like I don't want to touch my phone, like my socials or anything like that until I pray in the morning. And
Amen.
after that, we can get on all that. But sometimes you mess up and you miss it. And honestly, don't like just sorry, I'm tongue twisted here. Just don't punish yourself too hard for it. Don't let yourself get guilt tripped because as long as you're trying, God sees that. He sees your efforts. It's not like we were talking about this yesterday in Shade's stream. Like it shouldn't be a checklist. It shouldn't be like a real like about the legalistic side of things. But we should be trying to have a relationship with God, making time for Him and just talking to Him about it. And it's although we should focus on those things, like
Mm-hmm.
they're important, but we shouldn't over focus on it. Is what I'm trying to say.
Indeed. Thank you
I was
for
kind
that,
of all
Daph.
over there.
No, you're good. We're kind of coming full circle a lot, and I think the biggest thing we'd all agree is that it's important for us to take time for ourselves. It's important for us to take breaks. We got to take care of our spiritual lives as well. Thank you, Gilbert, for the encouragement there. He says being passionate about Jesus is not a bad thing. Missionary Gamer, hey, welcome, man. Let's see. He brought in Matthew 6:9-13. He says, then pray like this. It's a great prayer to start the day. I already know this one. I agree. I'm going to read it out loud. Pray then like this. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. It's the Lord's Prayer. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive not forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. Well said. Gilbert's my pastor likes to say, it hits me hard as a perfectionist. God cares about your availability than your ability. He can do through you what he needs to. Amen. We are the tools. That's the whole point of us streaming at the end of the
Yeah,
day, is we are
exactly.
just the things that he uses. But goes back to, I'm gonna end the point right here. I feel like we've gotten the point across today. Is when we're not taking care of ourselves, we're not doing what we need to. He can't really use us the way he likes to. Like he can't.
Hmm.
Yeah, we need to be in that mindset. We need to take care so he can effectively. And we want to make sure we're in a good place for that. We don't want to be, a hindrance to his plan, which we couldn't anyways, but you get my point. So
Yes.
that was a lot for today. I'm really glad I decided to make my comeback with this stream, man. I don't know about you, but I'm really glad I decided to do that.
Yeah, I
Let's
love
see.
these streams, dude.
Oh yeah, Missionary Gamer says he brought in 1 Samuel 15:22. As the Lord is great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices, as in obeying the voice of the Lord. Behold, the obey is better than sacrifice, and to listen to the fat. Oh, amen. To obey is better than sacrifice, indeed. That's awesome stuff, man. Awesome indeed. Well, we're gonna be back. Yeah, we're probably gonna end right here. I already know who we're gonna raid. I've been looking around and see. That is
And
fire. I agree. I already know who we're gonna raid. I'm excited to get back. Now that summer's here, we're definitely going to be doing a bit more often. We'll be a lot more consistent than we have been. Looking forward to playing games with everybody. I've missed you guys so much. Y'all have no idea how much I have missed the community here and just the friends that
we
I've made
miss
over the
you
last
too.
year. So I'm excited to get back to it. I'm excited to get back to playing Overwatch on a regular basis with you guys. Anyone who, for the horror game freaks out there, anyone wants to play Evil Dead when that comes out, let me know. I got you. We got a couple, speaking some personal stuff going on. We got a couple cool things coming up for the channel pretty soon. We got a couple minor things that'll be kind of neat, but then we got like one major thing coming up that'll be like super exciting. That'll affect a lot of people, who we hang out with on a regular basis. So I'm super stoked. But those will be a day by day announcement as they come in. You guys will see. Some will be coming in probably tomorrow. I think the first one will probably be tomorrow, if not Thursday. So that's the thing. Question for you: do you think God cares what games we play? Okay, we're gonna end with this question. Missionary Gamer says, "Do you think God cares what games we play and what we do in game?" That is a very, very good question. That is a very good one to think about because you can argue it both ways. I feel like you can definitely say. I think it really depends on the game. Okay, so yes, I do think so. A long story short, I do see, but I don't think it's as dramatic as we think it is. Like, I definitely think that any game, which I'm sure there's some out there in the weird parts of the internet, any game that obviously like demoralizes the name of God or takes it away,
Yeah.
I definitely don't think he's cool with that. I definitely do not. But I definitely don't, but I don't think it's as like bad as he thinks it is for the most part. Like I think anything
Mm.
that goes that, but what we do in games on the other hand, I do think that is a much more different thing. Like I think that's definitely a huge thing. Like for example, if, Fortnite is probably the epitome of a game that does not offend God. Let's be honest. In my honest opinion, it is probably the most kid-friendly shooter out there. But
Yeah.
if we're being disrespectful and talking bad and just being toxic as can be, then yes, I do think that that is dishonoring to God. I do think that is a thing. But but if it comes to that, I don't think yeah, that's kind of the best way to say. I think it's more if it's like looking down on a Christian life. Like for example, a game I haven't touched in a long time is I got Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And I think I was loving the game until you get to a point where a big chunk of the game is you're actually raiding Christian monasteries. Like you're straight up raiding them and like killing people inside. That was kind of like that I do not know.
Hmm.
What about games that glorify evil, demonic, murder, stealing, lying, idolatry? So it's funny you brought up that the game that comes to mind right away for that is Grand Theft Auto. That is one that
Yes.
comes right away. Now, personally, this is where I do think that sometimes it does matter what we do because and Grand Theft Auto is cool. This is my personal conviction. I do not like that stuff because I do feel like it glorifies crime. It does glorify all the things we shouldn't be doing. Like, especially in the online, when you create a character and you have to type your name, it's literally you taking a mugshot. And I believe what the impact that made, especially we have impressionable kids who see that and suddenly they think, oh yeah, having a shoot 'em up with the police is cool or smoking marijuana is cool. No, I don't think that stuff. And this is like part of my story as well, is that I've been in trouble with the police in the past. I have actually smoked weed and those things are not cool. It's not as great. So that's kind of my personal story and my personal conviction. But I would never tell anyone not to because that's up to you and it's more of a heart issue. But if you were to ask me, like, I do not see how you can't play GTA and, like, be like a really devout practicing Christian. But that's me. I know youth pastors who play it, and that's totally cool. But that's my personal conviction. So let's see her shades. I think it depends on the individual. If your playing causes you to stumble, that's the best. That's the much easier way to say it, Shades. Well say. Easiest way.
Yeah.
So yeah, she said it best. I overcomplicate things, but these are good questions. Maybe we should start adding these to like these devotional streams.
Yeah.
One person brings like an incredibly complicated question not related to the topic, and then we just move on.